There's still no chest. Did I not figure it out? Did I not look it up? Well, it's not quite that simple. I did look it up, but also not really looked it up. I worked my way through. I fortunately found a guide, and I can link that. That didn't give you the solutions, but instead gave you some hints. And one principle I stuck to or hanged on to was that I still believed firmly that we do not have to learn this language for this last puzzle, because we never had to learn it for any of the others. And that was wrong. That was the most important hint that I needed, because I was so stuck, and that was some kind of a relief, but also I'm not too happy about it, because I'm an advocate of consistency in puzzles, and the principle that was established here was you don't need to learn the language. But here, this is a puzzle where it somewhat goes off the rails into the whole bigger mystery of everything, and it gets rather crazy after this, interestingly. But you need to know, or you need to figure it out yourself, that this is the point where you have to get into the entire thing. So yeah, we need to learn the language for this one. The guide that I found also suggests that you need to learn the language for the cathedral puzzle, because there are hints here. I didn't have to do that. I think you don't have to do that. You can brute force your way through this. And I did it. But it helps. It certainly helps if you know what this says. So yeah, we need to learn the language. How do we do that? I was not totally wrong, on the wrong track with that. I was just, I was clinging on to my belief that you don't have to do that. I was also hoping, because I was lazy, to learn the language, but this is the page where you would start, because here we have all the characters, apparently. And yes, it is made up of two parts, the outer shell of each hexagon and the inner signs, and these two combined create your signs. And the only starting point that we have is this one, which is supposed to tell you that this character, or this writing here, is the word fox, and this one below is the word sword. And it further explains that the first character is made up of the outer shell and the inner shell, and then the second character is only the inner shell, and the last character is also only the inner shell. And then for the sword word, we have the similar situation. We have the first character is made up of the outer shell, which we have here, and then also an inner part, and then the second character only the inner part. And here we have a pencil marking that circles the first and last letter, and that is supposed to tell you that there are similarities between those two words. What do fox? You have to first correctly guess that this is all in English, which is rather obvious, I think. But then you have to guess what these words mean. This is a fox, nothing else, and this is a sword. And you would have to guess, okay, what is similar between fox and sword? They both have an O, but the way it is written here, it must be the last thing in fox and the first thing in sword. Fox, sword. And that I think, is supposed to be the key to further unriddling this, because this is not a language made of letters and an alphabet. It is made of sounds, like a phonetic language. I'm not sure if I explicitly suspected that. I think I said something like, I never learned a language that is based off sounds and phonetic structures, so I'm struggling with that. And it was a struggle. And in my defense, I can say it is a struggle because I'm not a native English speaker, and what you are supposed to do here is fill out all of these characters with the correct phonetic sound in English. Like, we have one unriddled so far. We have the S sound, the sharp S, which is apparently this figure with the one arm and one leg. So we have one character, but then it is encapsulated in for the sword, it is encapsulated with the outer shell, which apparently adds something else. We have sword, and we have fox. So you have to, okay, you know that it's about sounds, so fox is one syllable, sword is one syllable, but apparently that's not it. It could be, if we say phonetic sounds, it could be F or K, S. So that would be 4 different sounds. That would make sense because we have 4 here. We have the combined, and then 3 and 4. And here for the sword, we have sword, which is also, it's S-O, an R sound and a D. And here it gets complicated because some phonetic sounds do combine consonants and vowels, like O is a O and an R, but it's in English mixed together into one sound, and that's where I struggle because I don't necessarily learned English that way, and I'm always amazed and confused when I hear people say stuff like privacy in one situation, and in another somebody says privacy, or advertisement, and so on. I'm like, okay, I just accept that, and I take what I can get and try to learn everything, but I struggle with seeing the correct phonetic sound for each word, because there are very few vowels in the alphabet, but apparently there are much more here. And what you also have to figure out is what is the difference between the outer and the inner shell, and that is consonants and vowels. The outer shell is always the vowels, and the inner part is the consonants. And what I did, I went through this. I didn't just look it up. I tried to figure it out. And what you're supposed to do is with these characters figured out, you basically write it in here, and then you start looking and going through the manual and look at stuff where you are somewhat certain what it means. And I did that last time a little bit. Like here we can be sure that this might mean press and hold here, so we can work off of that. Like here in the middle of the screen there is this one word, then an ampersand symbol, and then another character or 2 more characters. And the one with the last one with the 2 arrows pointing up, I think that's just the sound, like the article. And before that we have a word made out of 3 characters, and in the middle we have this straight line, vertical line, and that would be just a consonant, the L sound. And before that we would have the H sound, H, and then an O, whole, and the figure which with just the two legs would be the D sound, and that would make hold. And so this way you have the alphabet, if you will, the phonetic alphabet, and then you try to assemble and find good spots in the manual to figure out every letter in that alphabet until you have them all. I tried to do it by just writing down what I hear, but I think it would be better to just go to the international phonetic alphabet and use those characters, because there are, if you learn a language, any language, there's this international phonetic alphabet that helps you learn how to pronounce a word, because you can look that up and then they have examples in your language how to read it. Like, for example, here in this section, we have in the third line the fourth and fifth symbol. That is the S, the sharp S sound that we just learned here from fox and sword, and the one after that is the Z sound, the Z, like Zelda, for example. And those exist in this international phonetic language, and they have their own symbols, and you just can write down that symbol and then look it up, or the other way around, you can look it up, what is that sound in English and what it is in the phonetic alphabet. Or for example, the last one in this third row, this person with the two legs, two arms, and then one vertical line, that is the sh sound. That in the phonetic alphabet, that, for example, looks like an F without the horizontal line. And that's the sound that you use for shoe, for example. And with all that, you would be able to read the whole thing. But it is work. It's not some magic trick and you suddenly see the matrix or something. You have to really work through it. And one final thing is there's dots. And I tried to figure out the dots, if you remember. This is the hint that is supposed to explain how the dots work. Because the problem of this language is, since it puts consonants and vowels into one character, you don't know which one am I supposed to say first. And apparently it's meant to be the consonant first and then the vowel, except for the cases where there is this dot circle below, then it's the vowel first and the consonant last. And this is supposed to explain that to you. Now that I know that, I still don't think this is a good explanation. I don't really know what this is supposed to mean. It's switching this says I am stuck. Or I'm stuck. Not I am, but I'm stuck. And the first one is the outer shell. It's just this one ceiling. That would be the I. And the lower one is the M sound. And since we have to say the vowel first, there is the circle underneath. And I think those two arrows switching out those two components are meant to explain that, but I find it confusing that I don't know why the rest of the word is written afterwards. Yeah, but that's the meaning of the circle. And with all of that, you can translate the entire manual. And people have done that, luckily. But for this one puzzle, you have to read the text, because there's nothing else that will tell you what you need to do here. The problem with that is, even if you have the entire translation, it is still, I tried it, and the stuff that I got I still struggled. I couldn't really make out words because, like I said, I'm not a native English speaker, and just from those phonetic sounds I couldn't quite make out words. So that was the second part. I looked up what this means, and I wasn't totally wrong. Like, what I wrote down for example, for the second line is 11 times, and I couldn't figure out what that means. Maybe it was not totally right what I wrote down in phonetic language, but yeah, I got 11 times. And then when I saw the solution, it was 11 times. Okay, yes, of course. But yeah, these two arrows are always the and then stuff. The problem with this text, it is very cryptic in itself. It's a riddle. So that makes it extra hard to translate, because if you have stuff like this, the controls, then you know what type of info you will get. So translating it will be much easier because you have somewhat of an expectation of what it would say. But this here says nothing really comprehensible. What it says, the softest feather, comma, corrected 11 times, comma, and then departed once more. That's what it says, and that is obviously another riddle. And this is where it starts to derail, in my opinion, a bit, because the game has never done that. Now we have to learn the language, which, yes, I can hardly accept that, but I accept it. And now we have another puzzle, and I couldn't figure that out, even after knowing what it meant. Because I was totally on the wrong track. I thought, okay, the softest feather could be an item, could be maybe a reference to the anklet here. Or, well, we don't really have an item that is a feather. Okay, then I thought there's nothing here, there's nothing to interact with, so it's probably referring to a code, an input code. So the softest feather, a soft feather, I would say, is flowing in the wind, so it goes up. So I would say this means maybe up. Then corrected 11 times. Corrected 11 times. Corrected. Maybe somebody tried to prevent it from flying away, so down maybe. Down 11 times. Departed once more. Okay, maybe it still flew away once. So I thought up, 11 times down, and once up. Nice, but totally wrong, because it's not meant to be understood as an image or a figurative thing. It's a wordplay, or it plays with the semantics of those words that are used in the riddle. And that I would have never guessed, I think. What I read is that the softest feather is supposed to describe a down, which is a soft feather that is used in pillows or can be used for that. Then corrected 11 times means correct as in righted, made right. So right 11 times. And departed is supposed to be a reference to left, leaving. So left once more. I would say left once, but no, I also had to look that up, because it's not down right 11 times and left once. It is actually down right 11 times and then left 12 times. For whatever reason, I don't quite like this solution, to be honest. It's not consistent with the rest of the game, that never required you to have such a type of riddle to solve. I am a little bit of a hypocrite here, I admit that, because I actually made a similar puzzle a while ago. It's on my other YouTube channel. It's an animated puzzle, and it's similar in that you have to take notes and work through it, and what you get at the end is a phrase, which is also a riddle, which can be quite unsatisfying. But I haven't tried it, so let's put it in if it works. We stand here and we do down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bam! Unbelievable. Vintage. Don't know why this is vintage, but well, the TV is, but why this puzzle? And finally, it is done. We have all the trophies now. But this is not the end. Not the end at all. I missed a few things, or I missed one specific thing that I could try to get now before we will go into the trophy room, because the trophy room is supposed to be the final thing, or the officially final thing. Because from there, from the trophy room onwards, it derails into total mystery. Oh wait, I have to make it day. Oh, by the way, what I didn't know and just read about now, trying to figure all of this out, is there are accessibility options now. They have been added. I don't know what this does. Auto open sequence assistance. I assume it's assisting you by inputting codes, Holy Cross codes. But this one is especially interesting, the audio puzzle assistance, where it just, in this case, it shows you the notes that it's playing. And it's corresponding with the notes that we see drawn into the manual. So that is a big plus in my opinion, because with those puzzles there's always accessibility problems. People who can't hear it, people who might not be able to see it, or might not see the colors. But yeah, we will for a quick change, we will make a visit to the ruined atoll once more. Because apparently I missed an item there, a card. Oh no. I swear, sometimes I really... it's not wanting me to grab the right enemy. Okay. Everything is fine. I don't know how you would have guessed that, because usually one flower doesn't indicate anything. I mean, well, now maybe everything indicates something, knowing what is about to come, but apparently here there is something hidden, and it's supposed to be indicated by this rock here. That hurt. And we get, I think, the last card, the bone. And what that does is, I think the shield does just make parrying easier. And the bone What was that? The bone, what did it do? Oh. Now knowing that, I think one of the advantages of the hourglass would be parrying. That you have a better chance to parry at the correct moment. So now we have that. There's even one more thing, or that I know of. And for that I think it has to be night. And it's here, it's of course if you translate all of this, eventually you get to the very end, and this also is a riddle here. And it's apparently hinting at the first hero's grave that we went to. And it's telling you to go there in the moonlight, meaning at night. And here it gives you a code, and I will try that. I think the reward is rather minor, but I want to see if that works. Oh wait, I didn't sleep. According to this translation, it says, contemplate this prayer near an ancient tomb, plundered for its blade, lies a special place, under the moon, and then the code. Let's see if it is that easy. Hero's grave, okay. Okay, we have to take care of those first. Ouch. Okay, we are in the night. Let's see if this code works. That would be up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. It works, and I think we get one piece of currency. Now, well, it is on record, so I won't say anything just now, because the sound that played apparently is also important. But we will get to that now. I don't know how much more secrets there are, probably, which with what we are about to learn, probably tons more. But let's go to the treasure room. We didn't get anything for the final treasure. So what is this all about?